here we are on a snowy morning in Kalispell, Montana. Just arrived last night, about 6:30 or so, about a 10-hour drive. And we got snow on the ground and had a little snow last night. But it's beautiful. Well, it's a blustery morning in Kalispell. The wind picked up, the snow is drifting, and it's probably about 19 degrees, 18 degrees, something like that, Fahrenheit. But I love it.
Closing out 2017, we were once again in Kalispell, Montana, at the home of our soon-to-be neighbors, Don and Donna Clough. It was New Year's weekend, 2017. We'd come for a respite from Debbie's job and to immerse ourselves in a Kalispell winter. For several years, we'd been exploring tons of properties in Washington, Oregon, a few in Idaho, and western Montana. On our spring visit to Kalispell and coming back to Skyview Estates, I found myself staring at the Swan Mountains to the east of our friend's home. None of the places we'd visited seemed to have the allure and the feeling of home, like the landscape of the lower Flathead Valley. A few short months later, we'd purchased the 5-acre parcel adjacent to Debbie's former Seattle train riding buddy. We contacted other builders in the local area, but after a face-to-face meeting with Steve Berglund of Great Bear Builders, we felt we had found our guy. Steve took the time to listen to our thoughts and ideas. He explained concepts of building green and aging in place that would create a home in which we could retire comfortably and economically. We'd been working with a local bank for months and thought we were on the road to kickstarting the project. To say we were surprised would be an understatement when we were informed we probably would not qualify for our loan. With construction scheduled to start in a few short weeks, we were certain we'd have to cancel the project. We were gutted. Phoning Steve Berglund, we explained that we just couldn't continue. But, not one to settle for such a disappointing end to our dream, Steve made the short walk down the hall to his mortgage broker friend Roland Frey of Glacier Mortgage. After answering a few of Roland's questions and a few days passing, Roland proceeded to lift our spirits with news that indeed he could make our loan work. Working with Brad Kelsey at locally owned Valley Bank of Kalispell, we were able to secure our project funding. Steve, Roland, and Brad saved the day and helped launch our dreams into reality. Now it was time to get the project underway, with excavation beginning in May of 2018. Enter Ed Baldy Construction. A huge amount of soil needed to be carved out for the 5-foot deep crawl space and foundation. With the funding delay and our Graham home not selling as quickly as we had anticipated, we remained in western Washington. We'd planned to make our exit by June. Debbie's employer was having difficulty finding her replacement, and she opted to stay with her job until the end of August. We would have to settle for watching progress on the house from afar. And progress it did. When we finally arrived in Kalispell, we were thinking, man, that house footprint looks small. Just as Steve said, however, the optical illusion changes as the build progresses from foundation to walls and roofing, then interior wallboard. The shop build occurred quickly, as pole construction is apt to do. Budget expenditures were rising, however, due in large part to increased materials cost. Would we even see a concrete floor? What about the man cave / customer waiting area? While we're back in Washington, Steve and the team are working hard to get the house and the shop framed up. to my son Sean, we were able to get a jump on LED ceiling lights and an indoor 50-amp RV plug. Our RV dump did make it through the budget trimming, and over the next few months we'd be happy that it did. Now it was time for some additional storage. Our rented 10 by 30 storage unit a few miles away was stuffed full of totes and boxes, and we'd arranged multiple pallets of shop items in the field grass that were waiting to be moved in. Living in the fifth wheel on the property, we'd get to see the finishing details, and our anticipation grew as we waited to occupy our new home. In the meantime, we were soaking in the surrounding view, perhaps in somewhat disbelief that this was to be our new life. Compared with our previous living arrangement, we were elated to finally have some breathing room. Even with the other new homes going in across the street. When it came time for the septic and drain field to go in, Ed Baldy returned with his excavator. We were very surprised to find that current codes required that drain field to be over 350 feet in length. Exterior painting had finally started, and gutter install was happening. The shop doors went in, and we could finally move the RV into the building. As fall and winter weather would soon set in, this would be a huge boost to keeping the rig warm. The cedar tongue and groove added a nice touch to the entryways. Our home is well insulated. Before batting installation, all wiring penetrations, the exterior stud walls, and attic were foam sealed. We headed to Kalispell's distinctive countertops to pick out granite, which would later be transformed into beautiful countertops complementing the espresso-colored cabinetry. Big River Tile did a wonderful job installing master bath shower and floor tile. The long-awaited spreading of the black butter, as Steve called it, significantly reduced the mud in the driveway. I had a few projects of my own to work, like this pad and seating area for our new cowboy grill. Landscaping was also in my to-do items, installing aluminum edging and rock around the house and spreading topsoil.
Shed being delivered.
About the time October weather brought the mud back to the fields, our new shed was delivered. Although expenditures were now well above what we'd hoped, we elected to have the property fully fenced. After seeing the doggies running out into the road and mingling with the horses next door, it was clear this was a must-do.
And the driveway full.
Some days there was a flurry of activity, but it would be early December before we could move into our new home. We had fun decorating for our first Christmas in Kalispell. Looking at what Steve and his team had created, however, it all seemed worthwhile. The extended time it took to sell our previous home, the time spent finding the right property, the funding issues, packing and moving, the several trips between Washington and Montana. It was all coming together. Part of my tasks included hanging mirrors and pictures, installing towel racks and blinds, wiring the low voltage box, and installing lighting in the shop. We were very pleased with our interior choices. we began moving in and assembling our new furniture. Well, I got 2 boxes opened, one small one and one big one. And now starts the assembly process. We'd never built a home before, and it was a daunting task. We can say, however, that we're happy with the finished product. It fits our needs and new lifestyle. There's still plenty to do to finish out the landscaping and the interior of the shop. Toward the end of the project, we decided to bite the bullet and had the Great Bear team frame up the man cave and shop restroom, complete with a nice storage loft. I've nearly completed the wiring and insulation, but for now, the rest will have to wait until the weather warms up. As I finish this video, the snow is on the ground and the temperatures are dipping into the single digits. That's okay. We have a nice warm home and a heated cab tractor to keep our driveway clean. The dream is real. The Kalispell Dream.
I've seen London and the River Thames. I've been most everywhere, but I came home again. There's only one last best place where I wanna lie. Go on and bury me in Montana when I die. Yeah, oh, you can bury me in Montana when I die. Oh, let the rivers rest my soul underneath this great big